go ahead and tune. Okay, so we are doing our quiz, so let's start on the quiz now. The quiz is 7 steps, and I'm going to be, I'll update your lesson tracker with the score, and I'm going to label them. Yes, it's supposed to be by memory, all steps, and I'm going to label them A, B, C, D, E, F, G. The first 6 steps are going to be 14 points each. The last step, the scale, is 16 points, and that in total is 100 points. And then I'll have a random number generator here ready to go for your scale. For some reason, we've been having like D major, G major, A major, so I'm not trying to jinx it for you, but it hasn't been too bad. Okay, so part A, and I can see you from this camera, so go ahead and go ahead. Right, good, thank you. Next. Good, next. Next. next.
This is the scale, right?
Oh yeah, hold on. Okay, I see what I did. Okay, scale. So tell me when, and I'll as the 0 to 11, 0's C, 11's B. The one that's 9 that David got, that's A major. 2 is D major. Just give you some numbers here. Ready? Should I press?
Sure.
11.
Oh, fun. So B major.
B major.
B.
So it's like at a carnival. Okay. Okay. So you did pretty well in some things. You had the most minus points in your scale, which I think, yeah, it was more like this. So good in the first two. You got full 14 points each. The third one was good. Minus 2 points. There's a little bit of what did you do there? Oh yeah, you did the wrong. There was a wrong. And so you when you're crossing strings, the second section was incorrect form, incorrect pattern, but it's only minus 2. Next one was good. Your harmonics. The next thing was good as well, and then the next thing was the ringing tones, and it ended well, but the first 2 or 3 were kind of out of tune. And even though they're the easiest ones, so but that's minus 2, and then minus 6 for your G major scale, which was B major scale, which started off kind of wonky, and then got better, and then when you're on the top, you were pretty much in B major, and then so it was just inconsistent.
Yeah. Okay.
So minus 6, minus 2, minus 2.
I have a 90.
Yeah, you have a 90.
Okay.
Oops. Okay, good. So that's your grade for this week on that, and I'm glad we did it. Now I've been after everybody does their thing, I'm talking to them how we could expand it.
Okay.
So how to expand this is so I think it looks better on the camera. We look better. So okay, so the first part is the arc of the bridge. So place your bow at the tip, at the C string on the bridge, and then do the arc here, and just stretch out as much as you can. Now, if it hurts, there's something wrong, because
Mhm.
you're not even playing a note. So it's a good way to figure out what's wrong and how to fix your posture. So if you can't reach, you need to move more this way, right? And then you can also move a little bit from your hips, yeah, to help you reach. Stretch out and then hips.
Should I do it higher than this, or is this okay?
Yeah, and well, see, this is the thing. Maybe your cello is too low, so you may have to either
Okay.
move to the edge of the chair, or see, that looks a little better, and you can raise the cello a little bit, or you
Mhm.
could you need to be facing that way.
That way?
Yeah. Remember, we talked about that. Put your foot out. Put your foot out. Like, this is what I'm talking about. If this is your left, this is your right hip. That's how people usually sit. You want to
Okay.
sit this way. Yeah. Now you're more around and to the side, on the right side of your cello. Now try that again. See how much easier that is.
Mhm.
Yeah, we talked about this. You got to do it because I think
Yeah.
it helps you a lot.
I was a little bit. This is a lot more than I
Yeah.
adjusted initially.
And so see, now it's like much easier. So see, these exercises can help you find the perfect position for you.
Mhm.
And it'll be different than David's, it'll be different than Michelle's, different than everybody else's. Now, you can also place your bow on right in the middle of the bridge at the frog, and on the like D and G string. And watch what happens when I just move my fingers, move the bow down with my fingers, loosen up the thumb a little bit. See, rock back and forth. You're moving your arm. Look at my arm. It's not moving. Your arm is moving. You're moving your arm. Thank you. Just move your fingers. But you're doing this with your fingers. Don't let go. Elongate, curve. Elongate, curve. So when I'm here in the middle,
Mhm.
see my fingers nice and curved. Then I elongate them and push the stick down. But I don't do this.
Okay.
Here's one thing to consider. Feel like the bow is just dropping that way and just follow the gravity going to the bottom. Yeah, come back up. Now come back up a little bit more flat. Yeah, now go down. Come back up. Now finally, my bow is also going that way a little bit, yeah. Now watch this with you could do this with your left hand.
Mhm.
So you have a more sympathetic movement. But you don't let go. Don't let go. You're letting go. You gotta be more strict. Thank you. You notice how you're doing that naturally? Now do it without the help of your left hand. Yeah, you do. More thumb. More thumb movement. Stretch your thumb out, come back up. There you go. So see how we can use this
Mhm.
on the bridge technique. Expand it. Second, we can expand it. I know we talked about. Don't worry about the rhythm. Don't worry about the sound. Just worry about the feel. Just worry about the feeling. So now what we're gonna do is add in a little bit of like a rhythm, like half notes, but they're really like triple dotted quarter notes with like a 30-second at the end. So what you want to do is you want to add in the first finger on the old string as you're leaving the old string, right at the end before the new string, without disturbing the arc of the bridge movement, like the C. Ready, and keep moving. Keep moving. Yeah.
I used too much up there.
Try it again. Ready, and just let it happen naturally. So if it's a little bit out of rhythm, it take a little long, take not as long, and don't worry if the sound is not amazing. Just worry about the movement.
Okay.
Keep moving. Let it drop. Just let it happen naturally. It's a brain issue, isn't it? It's like, whoa, what? You know? Use your brain. You have a brain, right?
I hope so.
You know that song?
Scarecrow.
Okay. You can do it. Just let it. So I've been really trying hard to figure out how to explain it. Because I say something and people do the opposite. As I say, move your fingers, and they move their elbow. You know?
Yeah.
And so it's like, is there something I'm saying? Probably. Because usually you should, as a teacher, you should always think, okay, I'm not saying it right. I didn't give enough steps, like preliminary steps for them to understand this. There's a great conductor named Chung. He's a Korean conductor, probably now in his 60s, an amazing musician, conductor. And, instead of saying like, hey, orchestra is your fault, because they did something that he didn't like or wasn't intending on happening, he says, well, let's do it again. I'll do better. That's what he says. I'll do better. Let me do something different. Make it better.
The student tells us to do that. It's not their fault. It's your fault if they mess up while you're conducting.
Yeah, because you're not communicating either with a very, very few words, because conductors, they talk too much. They often aren't so popular. And then, but if you show them exactly what you want and they understand it, guess what? It's going to be a lot smoother. And if they don't understand it, let's break it down. Let's work on it. So, anyway, just stretch out. Just stretch out. Like, and I had a student who asked me, what do you mean by up and forward? Forward and up. And I said to him, put your bow like this, follow me. Raise your arm up. Push your arm forward. I was like, that's what I mean. And he's like, oh. And so, but it seems so simple, yet we can't get it. Well, practice it, figure it out, because you're inside of your body, I hope. Sometimes you're out of your body, because we're not focused. But you're inside of your body, so you have to figure it out yourself. So, but still, up and forward is more like stretch, and come back. So work on that. See how we can expand that third part, second part. Third part, pizzicato bows. You can pizzicato bow like, for example, a passage of your music. So for see, like here, you can pizzicato like. Like that's especially involved with string crossings and uneven ones, practice it so you can go like. So you can go at tempo, etc., slower, etc. Next, you can try the following. Ready? You have your brain turned on. Play up bow the front. Down bow the tip. Up bow here. Down bow here. Up bow here. Down bow here. Up bow. Down bow. Pop, go. Did it well. Your brain was turned on. But I did prompt you by saying, turn on your brain. You're like, you turned it on. Because everybody else is like, oh, what do we do? But it is weird because you're doing the opposite of what you imagine you're supposed to be doing. So there are ways to expand that section too. Next we have the harmonics. And in harmonics, your left hand has that 20% feeling, but your right hand has like a full feeling of really having weight in there. And I want you to feel that the bow is rubbing on the string a little bit more and then pushing down. Because some people see it push down, but it's really about that rub. Like it feels like kind of gritty. Now, go to the fourth position on the D string. And let's play 1, 3, 4, 2 like this. 1, 3, 4, 2. Ready by the bridge.
4,
1,
2.
3, 4, 2. Almost. Notice that my bow, I was using half bows, or at least half of what you were doing.
Okay.
So feel the rub. Try not to add too much water, too much bow speed to your recipe here. Ready, go. So your second finger is wiggling.
I know.
Look at my hand. Just trust you know where those notes are. And if it's wrong, we'll adjust it. Maybe it's too close to your first finger, maybe it's too close to your third finger. It's much better. Now, remember we've been doing pizzicato bows the whole time. We're also concerned about the elliptical bows, about the curve of the bridge, about the arc of the bridge. So as you play each of these steps, please remember what the first steps were. Because I see a lot of people playing and they totally forget about what the first few steps are. Watch my pizzicato bow. You've moved. You went like this
I
and
felt
you
it.
moved. By the bridge. So
I moved.
one of the things that we need to work on is finger bow. So a lot of people put their finger and bow down simultaneously. Stop the bow, place your finger in, and it'd probably be more accuracy. Finger, finger, finger. Right.
Oh, okay.
So now let's figure out how that sounds when you stop the string. So just play 1, 2, 3, 4. Hear a lot of ringing tones in there. It's nice, huh? And you notice your sound was really solid. It wasn't like super loud, but it was solid, super solid. Okay, so that's one way to practice. And you can also practice extensions. Play 4, 2, extend 1, 2, like this. The 4 and 1 with extension. The 1 is the same as the 2. So you should have the same note on 4 and 1. Remember, half bows, more rub.
Why is it going up like that?
Because you're going off the track. You're going like this, like.
Oh, okay.
Second finger's the wrong place. Yeah. Now let's play in that spot. Let's play hot crossbones with stop fingers. Go. You're overstretching. You understand? Try again. Harmonics. stretching. Second finger is too far away. So where is the extension?
In one.
Right.
Only in one.
Exactly. People are doing this. Just keep these three like brothers together, okay? You're moving. Yeah. So remember, this is not a feather finger. It's a little bit, you know. Again. Oops. Now, ready? Hot cross buns, go. Keep going. Higher. It has to be consistent. You know, so these harmonics will help you understand where all these nodes are and locations. And they do correspond. All right, next we have the,
Ringing tones?
now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 G's.
Okay.
Can you find them? This is the first one. So find the other 5. Wrong way. So what's the first thing you did for the C? Okay, so try to follow that pattern.
How far was it? A fourth.
Okay, now put a thumb on that. Good. Now third finger. Good guess. So that's 4. We have 2 more.
Okay, so it's that far up.
Ah, there's one more.
It's between those two, isn't it? No?
No, that's the only one on the C
On
string.
the C string?
What's the last one? It's on the G string.
It is. Oh.
That's the
No.
wrong octave.
No, I already did that one.
Sounds like that. Thank you. So those are 6.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that cool? Now let's play them together. The whole point of this, well, there are a couple of levels here. One is smooth bows, don't have to try very hard, right by the bridge. The next one is the ringing of the tone. I mean, this is the most important one, really. And so you want to keep that G ringing the whole time.
Okay.
And then, of course, location for your left hand to just understand what you're dealing with. When talking about location, you build a map, cognitive map. I need to get a new thing. This one, it starts to like go like over, like tilt over. I don't like it. Anyway, maybe it'll stick today. Anyway, like let's try it together. Go. Thumb. Fourth finger G string. Second finger C string. See, I'm playing with much more careful bow, more rub. Careful with your bow. Yeah. See, don't be careless with your bow. ketchup on your fries?
Mm-mm.
Good.
I'm allergic to tomatoes.
Good. Okay, so now, what's next? Scales, and you got your blue Bible, and there's so much stuff you could do in there.
Mm-hmm.
All
You want
this
me to
stuff.
open it or no?
You don't have to. I'm just saying you could expand. That's easy.
Yeah.
But there are also like scale studies by Klengel. Almost every famous pedagogue has some scale studies, so there are plenty of scales. So when you get bored of this and you master that, there's something else you could do. The Klengel studies go like this.
So is it 1, 2, 3, 4, or
It's
1, 2,
you have
3,
to
4,
look at
5?
it. No, don't think about it. It's just you have to look at it and memorize.
Okay.
But it isn't the same in every key, with variations of fingerings, of course, like this. Etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool, I think. I'm just a cello geek. But anyway, there are all kinds of exercises that could expand your knowledge and also keep you from boredom.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, and variations are the way to go, because if you have more variations in your practice, then you have less of this repetition that could hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that mean? If you keep playing the same passage a million times, that repetitive motion injury could happen.
It also messes with my focus. Like I keep doing the same thing and it just like I zone out and go into autopilot.
Yeah, but that's another reason why to do it for you, just for your brain.
Mm-hmm.
Insane in the membrane. Okay, now, good. So, we need to finish up this concerto. Do you have some questions about any of the sections before we start?
Not particularly.
Anything?
Oh, you just did a different bowling.
Yeah, right. Whatever the notes are.
Mm-hmm.
Can you try it for me? Oops.
Ah, yeah.
1, 2, 3.
No. Ah. Mm-hmm.
I like to do now is propose you with a challenge.
Okay.
Clengo Concertino challenge. So next week, I want you to have learned all the whole movement,
Okay.
complete. In 2 weeks, you have to have it memorized. And in 3 weeks, you have to play it in studio class by memory.
So 1 week.
Learn the whole thing.
Finished.
Done. Don't wait till the last day.
Yeah.
That means like this weekend, you better learn it.
2 weeks.
Next week.
Memorize.
Yeah, so next week in a lesson, I want you to play the whole thing, and you need to play it in a decent tempo. So what's a decent tempo? So, this is a decent tempo for a final tempo, which is this. So like 96. 96 to 104 is a good place to be. Okay, 96 to 104. And then?
3rd week studio.
Yeah. Huge challenge.
Okay.
But you need to do it. Why? Because time's running out.
Mm-hmm.
You're pretty soon it's going to be March. And you can't be like learning music this way ever again.
Mm-hmm.
Because it won't give you any advantage in your barrier jury. In fact, you might as well just say, throw in the towel and say, okay, I'll just give up and I'll just do it the next time. But you don't want that. You want to go in there fighting and say, okay, I'm going to see what I'm made of. And if you fail, then at least you say, okay, I did my very best. Let's recuperate. I know what I need to do better and do it again. And if you pass, then you could say, wow, I really did it. I passed the first time, and, amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So, how do you get to the passing level, and who passes the first time? Well, people that are consistent in their practice and in their performance. So, and it doesn't have to be like, wow, amazing. Meaning, like, I don't know if we weren't here where we had a student named Sarah Bravo, and she played really well, and and everything was good, and so a lot of people were like, wow, she plays really well. It doesn't have to be like that. It has to be consistent. She passed the first time because she was consistent. Yeah, this is really the truth. And when we talk about competitions and who wins competitions, have you ever seen a competition like, America's Got Talent or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
And then someone wins, and you're like, why did that person win? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a wow factor in these television competitions. But in every competition, there's a consistency factor. It's like they played well, they sang well, they had they did something that was attractive, played a piece that was attractive, etc. And and in our assessment in the barrier is that you have a good tone, you have dynamics, you have consistently good intonation, and if you do mess up, you have a little squeaker here and there. You know why, which way it was. It was too flat. It was too sharp.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so remember, you have this piece, and you have to start working on it. Do you have any questions? That's why I ask you for questions, because I could help you, but if you don't ask questions, I can't help you. Well, why don't we spend a little time that we have? I'll put in some fingerings to help you in your practice. And you notice that there's no one playing this online, right?
Mm-hmm. I found one recording, but it's not like a video. It's like a studio recording, and the picture's just like the cover.
Oh yeah?
Mm-hmm.
that as I put in some other bowlines.
So for this down, would it be a retake or would the first beat be an up? Because there's no bowling before.
Yeah, I just put it there for a reminder.
Oh, okay.
It's like a goal goal post where it just says, okay, this is a down bow, so if you're not down bow there, you did it wrong before.
Okay.
So, because there's no bowings for a while.
Yeah.
And sometimes having just a reminder bowing is a good idea, especially if you're gonna practice like by starting like say in a random place or supposedly random, like in the middle of a bar or middle of a phrase.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good idea to put these in there. It says mid, it means middle.
Okay.
Okay. So I've covered many helpful things in there, and it's pretty basic, meaning it's exactly how it's written. There's no surprises. All right. Well, thank you very much, O.